Hi, I'm Jay Carter, number 42 for the men's Bulldog basketball team. I'm a center. Also, I'm majoring in exercise science. I'm from Spring Valley, Minnesota.
Okay, so you kind of started off with the UV basketball program as a manager. So kind of how did you talk us through how you came into that position with the team?
Well, my freshman year when I came here, I was still very interested in getting involved with basketball, either playing or doing whatever I could. And when I came in, I realized I was very undersized and I wasn't ready to play at a collegiate level, so I just wanted to get involved. And that was the only opportunity back when Coach Holquist was here that he had for me. So I did that, got involved, and kind of just helped out at practices and did whatever I was asked me. Came to game day, got water for him, things like that. And I don't know, it kind of introduced me to how college basketball is handled, what they do. Also, it kind of gave me an idea of the time management.
Yeah.
Since I'd come to practice every day, and 4 hours on weekends for games. So, it was one of those things I wasn't just thrown into it. I was kind of lightly introduced to how managing school and basketball would be. And luckily I got the chance to do that in my junior year, so that was a great experience.
And what was that transition like for you, coming into being kind of behind the scenes, playing on the court with the team and kind of being involved that way?
It was really different. I was super excited when I got the opportunity, obviously, but I wasn't ready. I grew 3 inches and put on like 25 pounds, so I was physically ready. The mental aspect of basketball, there's a lot to it when it comes to collegiate basketball. You need to want to play, and otherwise you just get tossed aside, and you have to have a lot of confidence in yourself, and that took a while for that to build up. But well, especially when I started our very first game, and that I wasn't ready for that, and seeing that to where I am now is like completely different, and it's been a long road, but I've really enjoyed it.
So do you feel like being able to kind of have seen how it kind of all plays out before stepping onto the court helped you in that way?
Yeah, because I watched practice. I knew kind of how they ran their offense, things like that. Wasn't thrown into it cold turkey. Like, I knew what was expected from me and everything like that from watching, so that did help a lot. It was just through my managing experience, I had a better understanding of how the game of basketball worked prior to actually getting thrown into practice.
You're not only juggling just basketball and that rigorous schedule on top of school, but I've also heard that you're applying to med school. So how has that kind of played out for you?
Well, it was really tough, especially last year. I took a Kaplan course, which consisted of every Sunday I would go in for 3 hours and just study portions of the MCAT, which is basically the test and the kind of placement test for med school. And that was really hard to juggle because it was like juggling school, studying for that, as well as basketball, and it was a little overwhelming at times. I didn't perform as well on the MCAT as I'd hoped, but I still put myself in a good enough position where I got an interview at Des Moines University.
Oh, wow.
And I've been put on their waiting list, and depending upon whether people accept their entry in or pay their dues on time, there's a possibility I can get in still. So I'm kind of weighing both options of if I get in there, I'll go, obviously, but if I get declined, then I'll come back and do more undergraduate classes, and as well as playing basketball. So
I know your coach has talked a little bit about that kind of situation where you're kind of in limbo there, and I know he would love to have you back, but I'm sure that the whole team is behind you and your decision no matter what you do.
It's one of those things where I kind of thought of like deferring a year, which is basically you get in, but then you request that you take a year off before going to med school. But I think in my situation, they wouldn't accept that. So it's basically, if I get in, I go, and if I don't, then I come back. Either way, I'm very happy with my situation. I'd love to play one more year of basketball, especially since I got kind of taken out early. Didn't get to play this year, my last year, but looking forward to that actually getting all resolved.
Yeah, and with your injury, I mean, it can't have been easy for you to kind of sit and watch again, but so can you kind of talk through, I guess, what that's been like for you, kind of to have to sit out like you did the first couple of years, but being on the other side of it now?
It's really hard. The first game when I got hurt, it was so hard to watch. Actually getting I was getting increased playing time after each game this year, and I was playing really well, playing good basketball, and it was really hard to watch for the first couple games. And I kind of talked to KJ about it because he's been hurt. He was hurt last year. He did play, but he played through injury, and this year he's been out the whole year. And I kind of talked to him about it. He kind of just said it doesn't get easier, but as long as you're there supporting the team, it does help a lot just to be able to watch. Every game I still wish I'd get in there and play, but
yeah, understandable.
Through certain events I'm not able to do that. Although I'm looking forward to watching us play more. Hoping to get into the tournament. Maybe I can get back for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And this weekend coming up, you guys are playing Sioux Falls and Southwest Minnesota State. So I guess what can fans expect out of those two games this weekend?
Well, I'm expecting 2 wins this weekend. The Sioux Falls and Southwest have been struggling of late. They haven't won. I think they're on some losing streaks, and we're on the verge of playing our best basketball of the season. I mean, last year this is kind of the time we caught fire. We got playing well, we meshed well, our chemistry was good, and I could see that it happening in our team as well. Same time, we start to get better at the postseason. That's kind of when we start playing well. And I'm hoping the exact same thing happens, so I expect 2 wins this weekend.